What's going on, people? It's your boy Sanchez, Payne, and we are here. It is The Scene. We are here joined today by Skinner. Skinner, what's going on?
Hello.
How are you, my darling?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you so much for being here on The Scene today.
Thank you for having me.
The people are going to learn a little bit more about you. First of all, let's start with the name.
Yes.
Why did you choose for your last name to be your stage name?
Well, everyone at school always just used to call me Skinner. I guess it just kind of stuck, really. And then I did go by Katie Skinner for a while, which is my government name. But yeah, I just felt kind of, I started off doing more kind of like acoustic music, a bit more kind of like Adele. Then I went through a bit more electronic pop, and then I sort of started doing a bit more kind of like R&B, and the stuff that I was doing felt a bit grittier, and I felt like Katie Skinner sounded really
Bit too nice. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm not nice.
So Skinner's just to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling like I miss you. It makes me mad to know that I was misused. These feelings, they might pass. One day I'll say I'm cool now. I know it's bad. The bitterness has filled my emptiness when I'm alone. Yeah, I'm better off alone. It's everything I'm known.
So if you used to describe yourself now as an artist, for those who would never hear your music before, what would you say? How do you describe yourself?
Do you know what? I find it a really difficult question because I feel like I maybe don't stick just in one lane, but primarily I guess you would class it as R&B. I'd say there's a lot of pop influence in there, there's hip hop influence in there, and there's soul influence in there. So how many percentages of each little pot,
It's just
I
a
don't
nice
know.
mixture.
It's a bit of a mashup with that, yeah.
Where did you start? So from music, what made you get into this industry?
Okay, so when I was really young, about, I'm going to say like 6 or 7, I was a church-going girl, believe it or not. You don't believe it. But yeah, I went to church and there was this girl and she was playing the flute. And I was like, wow, that sounds amazing. I really want to do that.
The flute.
This is a long story, by the way. Because I'm 26 now. We've got a few years to come. Yeah, the flute, yeah. So I was like, I want to play that. So I started off playing the flute. And I got real good at it, and then I started playing the piano, and then I started always sort of write songs and things like that, but that was just for me. That was just like what I like to do at home, like messing around really. And then I started doing like singing, like classical singing, and I would be in like the church choirs, and like then I started like competing doing music. So I took it really seriously. I would go to a specialist. I went to the Royal Northern College of Music every Saturday from the age of about 11 to 18, and that's like a specialist classical music school in Manchester. So I would go and I studied, wait for it, flutes, recorders.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm grade 8 recorder.
You're grade 8. What does that entail? What do you need to do to be grade 8 at
like
recorder?
Exams, like grade 8,
wow.
any instrument, like you have to, like, I played like concertos on the recorder, innit? Like, this is a thing.
Jeez.
People don't know this is a thing.
Are they wind instruments? Is that what?
Yeah, recorders, like, I actually, like, played, like, I'm not talking like your plastic descant recorder
That you had in primary school.
I'm talking the finest recorder money can damn buy.
Wow.
Made out of wood.
You had skills.
Carved. Yeah. So I did that, and like all this time I was still writing songs, and that's what I secretly really enjoyed doing. But I'm from Harrogate, and I guess if you turn around to someone and go, tell you what I'm going to do for my career, I'm going to write songs, they kind of go, well, that's, well, darling, don't sound like it's got the best prospects to it. So I was doing classical music. It was very wholesome. I was in like national orchestras and I was doing really well. So if I wanted to, I was basically at the crossroads where I was like 18, where I could either continue doing that, and I would have gone on and trained as a classical flautist and been in orchestras and, you know, done that, went that direction, and I could have had a good career doing it. But my heart wasn't in it.
Right.
And I knew that at about the age of 18. And so I stopped and I just said, look, I want to do music, like singing music.
You said this to who? To yourself?
To myself, and then it was, I guess, to my parents.
Right.
And then
did they want you to carry on with the classical?
They did, yeah, because there'd been a lot of time, a lot of money
Effort
invested into that. My mum would travel to Manchester with me every Saturday. They'd take me to London. They'd take me all over the UK competing. There's a lot of time and money and stuff, but it was a journey. I learned so much about it, about music as a whole thing.
Yeah.
So it was important that I did that. I now know that it was really important that I did that.
It gave you a good foundation.
Absolutely. So yeah, I made that choice and started applying to like study music at uni, because that was the time where I was at. So I really wanted to go to London. So I went to London, did a year down there studying, and then ended up at Leeds College of Music. I'm going to fast forward all this because kind of
that's cool.
So, ties it up nicely. So yeah, I went to Leeds College of Music for 3 years, did a degree in singing, and then changed over to songwriting in my second year and third year, and finished that. And it was there that I would say I really grew into the artist that I am now. So as I said, started off doing like sort of more acoustic music, then a bit more electronic pop, had a band around me.
You had a band?
Mm-hmm.
Live band?
Yeah, live band around me. I still was called Skinner, but I had like a live band. It was very like using samples and like electronic music. And we did some cool stuff, and then I sort of changed my sound a bit and really found where I wanted to be artistically, and collaborated with a lot more people. So that's kind of how I got here, yeah.
So you said you studied songwriting, but you've been writing songs for such a long time.
Yeah.
Where did your inspiration to write, something from your mind to the page? How does that work? What's the process?
Do you know what? When I first started songwriting, I think my main aim was how can I annoy my brother through a song. So I had like this little guitar in it.
I know a song that can get on your nerves.
I wrote this song. It was called Delicate Nettle.
Can we hear a little sample?
It literally went, delicate nettle, delicate nettle. It was awful. Like, it was just purely to annoy
Sounds
my
more like
brother,
aggressive nettle to me.
But then, like, we've got them, the keyboards that had all the settings on it, and like you could make the beats almost on it.
Yeah.
And he would get involved then, me and my brother.
Okay.
And like we'd like record it onto like a cassette and stuff. And then I had a friend that lived across the road from me called Kerry. And like we'd make songs, we called ourselves K and K, yeah.
Wow.
Like we'd put on these like little girl band performances in like the backyard. So it's always been something that's probably been like a dream in my head, you know what I mean, to be doing that kind of music. But as a kid, it was just for fun. So but there was always original songs that we were doing. So mad, really, when you think about it, because we could have just like, I don't know, sang Spice Girls songs or whatever we listened to.
Whatever was big at the time.
Yeah, but we wrote songs. We actually like sat and like wrote songs and made songs, and we just enjoyed doing it. It just came naturally. It wasn't anything. We never thought, oh, that's a weird thing to do. Like, it was just what we did. And then, it's when I went to uni, I started sort of taking the art of songwriting a bit more seriously and looking into it and kind of, I guess, exploring genres that I'd never really explored a lot, because you're limited when you're younger. Like, you're only exposed to what you're exposed to. So like what your family listened to and what your friends listened to, and I can tell you right now there was no rap music. So everything grew and expanded. My mind for music grew and expanded.
So you touched on the art of songwriting. Could you explain what that kind of is? I mean, would most people think that you just get a pen and paper, you just write down your thoughts, or is there a structure to it?
I mean, I think it's something that a lot of people find really confusing. So like, how do you write a song? If you don't know, if you've never written a song before, people are like, how do you do it? Like, do you write the words first? Do you write the music first?
Do you have a feeling?
Like, what do you do?
Is it experience?
Like, what do you write it about? There is no right or wrong. It's a really vague answer.
Is it quite personal?
I would say so. Everyone's got their own ways of doing it. There's no right way, no wrong way. So some people, like, I know one of my friends, Gabby Henshaw. She goes called Gabby Zakara now. Change the name, change the stage name. But she writes by like having a beat first, and then she'll get melodies like for the top line, and then once she's picked the melodies, she'll insert the lyrics.
Right. So lyrics come last.
Yeah, for her. But but while she's doing it, she knows what the song's going to be about, so she'll have picked a title first.
Okay.
Whereas I literally, when I get a beat, I kind of write the lyrics but the melody to fit the lyrics at the same time. So I'll be writing a line but my mind's already doing the melody at the same time in a weird way.
To break it down a bit further, one of your songs that I like, Enough.
Yeah.
Tell me the process through that.
Okay. So this was an impassioned song because it was about my life.
Okay.
So more recently, my songs are about my life because it just comes easier. Yeah, like natural. Yeah, and it's kind of a very emotional process. You're getting things off your chest. I think it's good for you, actually.
It's expressive.
Yeah, it's expressive, and you get to... I'd say with my songs, maybe like 60-70% might be true, but then there's an element of fiction.
Of course,
so, like, you know, no one's life's that perfect that you don't need to add anything to it. Yeah. Like, make it a bit more dramatic.
Based on a true story.
Yeah, based on a true story. Exactly. So Enough, that process had the beat, exactly that. So I sat down, I remember just had that, my mic sat literally here, and like, I recorded that as I wrote it. Right. So, like, line for line. So, like, I think I had an idea for the chorus. Like, I knew I wanted it to be like, didn't know enough about you, because I really wanted the song to be about how you shouldn't feel like if a guy doesn't want you, it's just because he didn't know enough about you, not because he didn't want you. It's not personal. So that's what I wanted it to be, quite an empowering, like, you are enough, he just didn't know enough about you kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's from your personal life. It was also a message to women out there.
It was a message to myself at the time, because I think I felt like it was me. Like, I felt like, oh, well, I'm not good enough then. And actually, I was like, had a word with myself. I was like, no. Tell you what, that's not what this is going to be. And this is going to be, you just didn't know enough about you. So, and it was a message to me and to other women out there. Yeah.
Nice. Standing up for the women. So, based on that, you're a woman in music. Yes. What's your perspective on the music scene as far as women are involved? Do you feel like you stand strong in the music industry? Do you feel like you have a little bit of a weight on your shoulders? I
find it a struggle in that there's not many female artists out there to work with. And I think the industry as a whole very much likes to pit women against each other. Instead of bringing all of us together, it's like automatically there's another female artist, well, she's your competition.
Right.
She's not. It's not like oh, well, let me introduce you to this artist, maybe you could work together. It's like, have you heard of this girl, because she's doing music now? And it's always said in like and it's just, I'm so very sick of it.
In the music industry, but outside of the artist, or artists like that as well?
Some artists can be like that. I've done gigs before where they don't even speak to you. Like, they're not even going to speak to you. Like, they'll sit and, like, they won't, it's not that they won't, or, like, they'll pass a word, but there's a vibe. And it's like, we're not friends kind of vibes. Not always, and more often than not, it's not the case. But
how can that change? If that's the case, where it feels like women now maybe there's only one lane for women, so they're always kind of fighting like crabs in a barrel.
Yeah.
What do you think needs to change for that in the music scene as far as women are concerned?
The women need to change, because I think that once they realise that in breaking out of that and collaborating with each other, that makes us stronger, then everything's a win from there on in. Like,
okay, so it's down to you.
I think it is starting to change. I mean, I've had some great experiences with women artists, particularly in Leeds, like Maya Craig, Nine, like people like that that I've worked with, and there's no beef there in it. Like, we genuinely want each other to do well.
Yeah.
And that's a great feeling. That's a really nice feeling. So, and like, and if I think you shouldn't. I think it's fear a lot of the time, because I think an artist fears that for themselves to do well, it means that girl over there can't be doing better than me. But really, we shouldn't give a shit, because they can still do well and you can still do well and have
there's enough for everyone.
Even similar fan bases, or similar music. It doesn't really matter. If you're good, you're good. If you're not, you're not. Like, think of how many artists there are in the world. There is room for everyone if we want there to be. Of course there's room. It just, people need to embrace it more and just be kinder to other people. Like, if I hear that there's like new artists coming on the scene, and I would work with them. I'm not going to be like,
yeah, because you've got a bit of
shit.
no one in the game.
Yeah, cool. Like 9 times out of 10 they won't have a studio. I have a studio. Cool, let's work.
Wicked. So that's in the general sense for women in the industry. What about in Leeds? Like, you've already named a few female artists that are doing really well.
Yeah.
Do you think Leeds as a scene is doing well as far as music?
I think Leeds is doing really well at the minute. I think it could do better.
Yeah.
But it's come further than I've seen it in the past few years.
Really? So it's started to accelerate and get traction?
When I first moved here, Leeds was very much about bands. That's why I had a band. Because the only way of getting gigs was to have a band. Like, they're not going to book me just stood there on my own. I had to have a band. So I've got myself a goddamn band. And I was like, I will gig.
You did what you need to do.
Yeah. Like, that was the only way. Like, you weren't seen as credible. If you didn't do something live with instruments, you weren't a credible artist. You were someone with a backing track. Whereas now that's changed. And because that's been pushed forward in the media so much, and, you know, we have grime to thank, and we have a lot of urban music to thank. Because
opening the doors.
Absolutely, because those guys can stand there with a DJ and perform. And really, that's what I want to do too, even though I'm not spitting bars. That's what I like. I don't need a band, like, to go and perform a gig and for people to enjoy my music. You have to be some guy there with a guitar or a drum kit. Yeah, that makes it sound super sick, but the reality of that...
Should be able to be just you.
It should be able to be just me, just my music. I should be enough for them, really.
Is that a little plug to the track again?
Yeah, until you get into the stage where, you know, you're doing the festivals and things like that, then and you've got the funding and you've got everything behind you, then cool, you've got... Why not have a band? To the hell, cool. Yeah, but now it makes it easier to get more gigs and travel around more. Everything comes down to money.
So touching on that, you touched on a little bit, as in going into festivals.
Yeah.
You've actually had a little bit of light shined upon that already. You've done already an amazing career, if I could say so. So much more to come from you. Can you tell me a few things that you can pinpoint to really big moments in your life to your music?
Yes. So, I guess the first one was having my first Radio 1 play.
Okay.
Because as a kid growing up, I loved pop music, loved Radio 1, always listened to Radio 1. And I just always dreamed of having my song played on there, but I didn't think that it would perhaps happen, because it seemed at that point so very far away. And how do you get your track played on Radio 1? Like, it doesn't sound that simple. So through BBC Introducing, I was given that opportunity, and it's happened a few times now. But the first time, it was a track called Monochrome that I did with my friend called Crumb, and that was when he was in my band with me. And he's gone on and done mad things on his own, but it was really nice to share that together, because I think that was both our first Radio 1 plays as well.
Wow.
So that was really cool. I remember we sat there, like, gathered around the laptop at uni, like, I think it was like midnight or some really great time to be played on Radio 1 when everyone's listening, but we got played on Radio 1, damn it. So that was a high.
It's progression.
Yeah. And then after that, Leeds and Reading Festival, got to do that, so that was sick. That was through
tell me what that was like.
Mad. We didn't get like much notice even, so like we were told in about, I think I want to say like a month before maybe.
Wow.
So I didn't even know I was in the running for it, because BBC Introducing just organised it. So Jericho Keys, who does BBC Introducing North Yorkshire, all of the BBC Introducing people can put people forward for it, so he put me forward for it. And then it went onto a panel, and then they pick who's going to be on the BBC Introducing stage.
And
I was chosen. So, it was one of those kind of mad experiences, really. We did, I think, the Friday at Leeds, then we travelled down to Reading, did the Sunday at Reading. And it was mad, because we're on a line-up with Kendrick.
Yep.
We're on a line-up with, like, all of these mad people.
Established superstars.
Yeah, and, like, we've given artist passes, and we're able to just trot in and out of all the artist
areas. Pass.
Felt fucking sick. Felt absolutely fucking sick. Like, I swear to God, I never want to go to a festival not as an artist again. Like, it was just sick. And it was the best experience, and everyone was really supportive, and just really cool. We ended up meeting like Kendrick's guitarist, and like he chilled with us for a bit. And then he like comes over sometimes. So I saw Jason Derulo because of him as well, because he plays for him.
Crazy.
Like, just
so networking.
But yeah, it was just a really cool experience, and really nice to share it with some friends as well, because all of I had my band then, and it was all of us together in it, and we all worked so hard to get there. So that was really nice.
And you finally got a breakthrough.
Yeah, and like I went to Leeds Fest in it when I was, I think, like 15. So it's like one of those things where you've always dreamed of performing. So to get there was cool. To have that was really cool. And then the last one I would say was getting the One Extra playlist. So that was with a song called Hopscotch, and that I did with Trey Valley, one of my friends. He did a feature on that. And we weren't even going to drop it. But then we just said it to BBC Introducing. And again,
just on a whim,
on a whim, we were like, we may as well see if we get some radio play. And they made it track of the week.
And One Extra being the fact that that's your genre.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a big platform.
Mm-hmm. So, and again, I didn't know that was going to happen either. So that's been some cool things.
So they're the massive highs that you can get in music, but we all know that in this game there's ups and downs. Is there any point in time where you've maybe struggled, or maybe thought it wasn't going to happen, or maybe even given up?
Yep, constantly, like every day. Yeah, no, genuinely, I probably have like, I'd say about 1 to 2 big wobbles a year where I'm like, nah, do you know what it is? No one even likes my music. Like, I don't even know if I'm very good. Maybe I'm shit, actually. I should probably give up.
Self-doubt
like,
creeps
getting
in.
a bit old, am I now? Like, I'm 26. Like, I'm thinking, well, I gave it a good run, and I'm still doubting. I even said to one of my friends the other day, I was like, don't know, maybe like by the end of this year, maybe I should quit. I don't know. Like, it's constant doubt, and then something good will come along, and then you think, this is why I do it. Like, before beginning of this year, I was thinking a bit like about everything. I knew I've got an EP that's coming out, and I thought maybe after that. And then I got offered a gig to support a novelist, and then I was like, actually, no, I'm not gonna quit anymore. I'll just do that. But it happens all the time. When I will, I don't know. But like, if I will, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I love doing music, but it can drag you down sometimes, and it's very hard to feel appreciated, because it is hard, and so many hours go into it, and sometimes you can put a track out there and it can appear like no one's even bothered, and that can be so disheartening.
Knowing the hard work you've put in behind the scenes. Yeah,
exactly. But then sometimes the opposite happens, and it just drives you to try a bit harder. So, and then you get a good opportunity, or someone just messages you and says, I really like that song, and you think, do you know what, actually,
that tune was hard. It's
if
like,
one person has really enjoyed that, then cool.
Okay. So, going forward then, you've had these ups and downs.
Yeah.
It feels like you're in a good space right now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the next year or so is going to be like? Or do you even look that far ahead?
I don't know if I try not to look too far ahead, because sometimes I think that if you set yourself too many expectations, if you don't reach them, it can be disheartening.
Okay.
And so I'm careful with that
quite
now.
Tactical then.
You've got to be quite practical with it.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to be realistic. Yeah. I'm definitely releasing my EP. Might have already released it by the time this interview's out, so
you have to look out.
Check it out.
Keep an eye out.
Yeah, it's going to be called Salt, because it's salty as fuck.
Hey.
Yeah, I had a lot of things I needed to get off my chest, and I got them off my chest, and then we could move on. So there's that, and then there's a few tunes that I'll be dropping. I've got one that I know I want to drop that's featuring D5. I've got one with Davo that I want to drop. I'm doing a gig with Dialect at the beginning of April. Again, that might have already happened by this time, and hopefully, maybe move on to another project or something like that after. I've got a few music videos to drop as well. One I'm really excited about, a track featuring Harrison Mead that's on my new EP.
Big.
Yeah, Super OG did the video. It's sick. We filmed it in London. Really love it, so I'm really looking forward to dropping that. But yeah, so as long as I get all of those things done, I'll feel like I've had a pretty productive year. And I'll be happy.
Feel successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
You looking forward to the album dropping as well?
Yes.
And getting them out there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that I feel like I've been sat on this for a bit, and I wanted to make sure it's right.
Yeah, of course.
I think probably I've been working on it for like a year now. So I'm ready for it to be released.
Now, as you touched on, 26, so we've got a lot of experience. What would you tell younger people, younger women from Leeds, surrounding areas in the music game? What advice would you give in order, if they were to look at this and, you know, love everything that you said, what's the one thing you'd like them to take away from this?
Don't be so self-critical. Because I feel like, for me, I think as a woman, or as a man as well, you can feel a lot of pressure generally. Then when you're putting yourself on a platform where, you know, realistically, people like a bit of keyboard warrioring,
of course,
don't they? You know,
social media.
Exactly. You're putting yourself out there. Don't be so self-critical. Don't take everything to heart that people say. Just block them out. And go with your gut. Go with your heart. Go with what feels right with your music, I would say. And reach out to people. Try and collaborate. Collaboration's the best thing I ever did.
To link
Absolutely
up.
Best thing I ever did. I can't put enough emphasis on how important collaboration is. You collab with someone, maybe they put you forward for a gig, maybe they put you forward for something else, maybe they blow and they grab you with you and you're supporting them on tour.
Maybe a year later.
Yeah, maybe you write a song with them and then that song blows up or gets good. Do you know what? The options are endless.
Put yourself out there.
If you're just sat in that studio on your own, that's probably not going to happen. So yeah, collaboration, believe in yourself, and don't be so self-critical and don't be so harsh on yourself. Like, I think artists, I know all of them sit there and they're sitting on these gold mine of tracks.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Just put it out there.
Put it the fuck out there and see what happens. If it's good, it'll bite. If it don't, move on quickly.
Wicked. It's been amazing having you. Can you tell the people where to find you, your social medias, where to find your music, what's out right now?
Yes. So all my social medias are at Skinner Music UK. So that's my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook /Skinner Music UK, SoundCloud, same, and on Spotify and all of that. I've got stuff out there. So if you just search Skinner, it should come up in theory.
Wicked.
Yeah, but all my links are on everything anyway. So if you can't find it, find me on Instagram, I'll message you.
There you go. This has been another episode of The Scene. I've been Sanchez Payne. We've had Skinner Music on the show. Make sure you tune into next week's episode. Peace.
Do you wanna break? Are you struggling just lately? Do you wanna break from life? Do you wanna break?
Hi, I'm Skinner and you're watching The Scene.